Today on Healthy Happy Soul TV, I talk about the key to creating successful and sustainable change. Hey there peeps, welcome to Healthy Happy Soul TV episode number 8. I'm really excited that you've joined me. I'm super pumped to share today. It's the first day of spring, it's a beautiful day. I've got my yellow spring top on, I got my Little Miss Sunshine mug, and I'm just ready to share. I'm really excited to share today. It's maybe a little bit of a rant, but I've seen it. It's started. There's all these posters and signs up. Do you know what I'm talking about? Summer bodies are coming and bikini season is coming and you better get into shape because summer's on its way. You know, all these things like this. Around this time of year, it starts to be in our face. We can't miss it. Maybe you've missed it. I don't know. But it's been catching my eye. And this just makes me wild. It makes me so frustrated and so mad at my industry that this is the attempt and the way to get people through the door, to get people moving. And I guess it's good because, you know, people moving, people taking care of themselves, it's great. But what happens generally, you know, the gyms are bursting at the seams and then around February or March, everyone drops off and the gyms are like so quiet. And that breaks my heart because it happens. I've seen it. I've been in the industry 10 years now and I've seen it year after year where, you know, people come in and they go hard and they're driven by that motivation because the bikini season's coming or whatever it is, and they're driven and they go hard and they flog themselves only to fall off the wagon in a few months' time. They disappear. I don't know where people go. They disappear and until, you know, it starts to get warm again and they start to feel a bit guilty of, oh, I haven't been taking care of myself. I better get myself back into the gym and go through the whole process again. So this whole cycle of, you know, flogging ourselves and then it becoming overwhelming, so we just think it's too much and we just fall by the wayside until, you know, we decide we need to kick our butts back into gear again. You know, that cycle, it just breaks my heart. It's soul destroying. And so my passion is helping to support people to really be free of that cycle, to create, you know, consistency and just be hooked into a lifestyle of healthiness and happiness and having, you know, God at the center. So that's my passion. So those signs about the place, they make me so frustrated. So I want to talk to you today about actually how do we create sustainable change? How do we create consistency? How do we keep that motivation happening so that it's not a 3, 4, 5, 6 month cycle that we're just constantly putting ourselves through year after year after year? And I want to just use the example, I was working with a client last week and we'd done our vision. And so this is what we talked about last week in Healthy Happy Soul TV. So we talked about doing a vision and how that's so important for motivation and why we need to have that clarity and get really clear about what our best self looks like. So we had that, and that was her homework. And she was coming back to me to sort of report, and then so we can create little goals to actually action that. But then when she came to me, she didn't just have her vision, she had all these goals written for every little thing that she put on her vision. So she had like 10 goals for this and 10 goals for this, and here's how I'm gonna do it, here's when I'm gonna do it. And I was like overwhelmed. I was like, oh my goodness. So, you know, 5 stars for just being so enthusiastic and passionate. But there was just so many goals, it was overwhelming. I was overwhelmed as the coach. Like I said to her, okay, so what am I gonna do? What's my role gonna be? And she sort of just breathed and it looked like the weight had just been lifted off her shoulders. And I said, this is amazing, but we just have to do this one step at a time, walk this out, you know, small changes over time, rather than doing a mass overhaul where then it becomes overwhelming and you go, I can't do it, freak out, and you just fall off the wagon, which I don't want to happen. So, you know, my key for how we create sustainable change, start small. Go small, so small that you might think this is so insignificant, it's not going to make any difference. But think about it, you know, all the things that happen in life, all the big achievements, they take time. So, you know, doing uni, you know, completing a university degree, that was over time. You didn't do that overnight. You didn't do that in 3 months. That takes years to do. You know, having a really intense and intimate relationship and friendship with someone, that takes years to build. That doesn't happen overnight. Creating a healthy lifestyle, it's the same. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, it takes dedication, but it takes small changes regularly, consistently over a period of time. So that's what I want to encourage you with, you know, instead of just hooking into this whole mentality of I need to do a mass overhaul and quickly cut out carbs and go for 5-kilometer runs every day of the week, If you haven't been doing that over winter, your body is going to go into shock. So the key to creating change, positive change over time, small stages, small goals, small little steps, rather than having one giant leap and it being way too intense. And I just want to back that up with a verse in Zechariah. So this is in Zechariah chapter 4, verses 10. And it says, "Do not despise the day of small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin." Do not despise the day of small beginnings. That's the key. So often we want to be right there and it's big and it's amazing, but we got to start somewhere, and often that's small. We got to start small. So my encouragement to you, if you're wanting to make a change for your health and your well-being, start small. Small changes. You know, if you've not been moving your body and you want to get more active or you want to get fitter, start by creating, you know, one day a week where you do something, whether that's a walk, whether you go and play a team sport, I don't know, whatever that looks like, one day a week. And if you can do that consistently for a few weeks, then up it to 2 or 3 days a week. But as opposed to setting a goal of 5 times a week, not achieving that, feeling rubbish about yourself and saying, well, I'm not good, I can't do anything, and just throwing it all in the bin. You know, I'd rather you just be successful and build on that success over time. So that's the key. So to wrap up, the key, small goals, and then actioning that over time, and then increasing that as you start to achieve them. So I hope that encouraged you. I hope that took some pressure off from trying to get this bikini body in the next 2 months. Take your time. You know, you got your whole life ahead of you. Why not enjoy the ride? Why not start small stages, small steps over time, build your confidence, build your self-belief that yes, you can do it, and it's going to make a huge difference. So have an amazing week. Go get them. Start small, dream big, value small, and go get them. Bye.